Oh,
Hey,
hi.
how are you?
Good. How are you? Can
I'm
you
doing great.
hear me okay and everything?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. So yeah, you look great.
Oh, thank you. My
So
to the signs.
yeah. So yeah, before we start the live, I have been known to butcher names, so please introduce yourself for everyone's sake, and tell us who you are, where you're from, and everything.
Sure. Well, my name is Dom Locke, and I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA. And I moved here from Illinois when I was 7, so almost born and raised. And I'm actually a fusion dancer.
Yes.
So I I fuse a lot of the belly dance vocabulary along with my own body's intuition, just basically whatever the music uh,
Yeah,
tells
music
me
tells
to
you. Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And but I started belly dance classes at the end of, oh gosh, 2010. And I ended up doing a 6 year hiatus. So really it's been 6 years or so of study. So I don't like to say 10 years because that's not the truth, if that makes sense. I know that was
Yes,
all over
yes.
the place.
No. That's absolutely fine because you got started 10 years ago, but you have been doing it seriously like 6 years. So yeah,
Right, right.
whatever year you want to count, yeah, I get it. So it happens. It's like some people get started and never stop dancing. So yeah, I totally get the point.
Yes.
So what which is you actually are the first fusion dancer here. So yeah,
I
it's a good
noticed.
yeah, it's a great thing. Mainly because maybe the second page is not big enough, the fusion one, and it's very relatively obscure dance form, I would say, to be quite honest. And yeah, and that's why maybe the page is not growing because it's a very old page, and I actually reached out people to that page, and I got less, I would say, less response than I got in here, to be quite honest. And you were the one of the first ones to reply, so that's why we're doing this podcast. And so what actually, I mean, before actually I say what actually attracted you to do the fusion dance form. So, what's the difference between belly dance, the Oriental style, and the fusion? I mean, are there any basic difference that I don't know about as a just a simple viewer who doesn't know anything about dances? Yeah.
That's a loaded question because the whole fusion community, we're trying to figure that out right now.
Yeah.
So, um, but really it depends on each dancer. Each dancer will give you a completely different answer depending on, what they're fusing, basically. So, but like I said, I can speak for myself and what I can talk about what I do.
Yeah,
So
of course, please.
yeah. So I do notice that I add a little bit of hip hop into what I do because it's just like the pop and lock. So a little bit of that, and then like I was saying, like the intuition of just music. I just hear it, and well, let me explain something first. So when I was in high school, I was really into metal music. And I had always imagined this gal just moving slowly to like metal, and it would give me chills. And I don't know, it was just something that, an image that came into my mind. And, I saw belly dance at the Renaissance Festival in Minnesota. And after that, I just started like looking up on YouTube different dancers. And then I saw a dancer that was doing basically what I was imagining in my head with music. And I was like, and she was doing, well, tribal fusion or transcultural fusion, which is what we're moving to now to say. Um, so she was doing that, and I was like, "Oh, that's what I was kind of imagining in my mind." And so that's how it all got started. And like again, it's just for me, it's mixing. I just love like the slowness that tribal has, or excuse me, fusion.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, the fusion has, and um, yeah, so it's very much like an inner, I don't know how to describe it.
yeah, yeah. It's more like more of an intuition rather than precise. You actually cannot describe intuition. That's one.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
exactly. So,
yeah.
yes, but
And
oh,
yeah, who was the
sorry.
dancer? Yeah, no, no, it's absolutely fine. So, who was the dancer you first saw?
Oh, it was a Sonia Burns. I saw
Oh,
her, um, one of her YouTube videos when she was at her Renaissance Festival, and
yeah, yeah,
I was just enamored with her. I was like, oh my goodness. And that's when I went down the
yeah.
rabbit hole. Like, yeah.
The thing is, yeah, it was a popular video back in the day, right? From the Renaissance Festival, and she actually, at least, I was actually following her back in the day, and
Oh,
I barely
really?
saw another. I actually saw another video, maybe, and then I felt like she vanished, and maybe I moved on, something like that. So I interrupted you. So you're saying something.
Oh, yes. And another thing that I like to incorporate in my work is my love for photography. So, and I
Oh,
know you're a photographer too. So I feel
yeah.
like we connect in that way. But yeah, I actually got my degree in photography. And again, like it's so weird, like how everything is coming together.
Yeah,
So in my undergrad, I really wanted to do a project with a dancer. And again, this was before any of my belly dance stuff. And so, but that it never ended up happening. And um, so basically, I'm kind of making what I've always wanted to make as an undergrad with a dancer, because I
yeah,
used
yeah,
to do more fashion photography, and just never got the chance to do like a blend of video and
yeah.
photographing like a dancer, like and like all their different like shapes and stuff. So I'm almost kind of doing what I wanted to do back then.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Uh, there was an idea that I kind of, consciously or subconsciously invested in a big time. And yeah, I get it. What you're trying to say. The thing is, no, I feel like dancers are amazing posers by default because yeah, they're really comfortable with their body. So what models, learn, I think dancers kind of know, to be quite honest. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and so it's one of my bucket lists is uh, is one of the thing of my bucket list is to uh, photograph many dancers, to be quite honest, because here there's a, I wouldn't say lack of it, but it's kind of dying in a sense because of the economy and people are moving online, and yeah, and it's also a conservative country, so it will be an amazing opportunity. And I totally get the appeal of for you doing that project with the dancer. And
Yeah.
yeah, so you actually got a degree in photography. Was it an undergrad?
Yes, I did. From the
Yeah.
Minneapolis College of Art and Design. Or what were you
So
saying?
yeah, I mean, yeah. So why photography? Why not? Why not? There, I have kind of interviewed a few people who are actually dance academics. So yeah, why not the dancing part? Yeah.
Um, well, I originally thought when I graduated high school I was going to be an advertising major. So, but I always knew I was artistic and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went to art school and I was originally an advertising major, and
Mm.
then I realized that's not what I wanted to do. And then I went to graphic design, and um, I couldn't even
Then
complete the one of, like, I think it was like graphic design one. I had to um, basically take a fail for it. So I was like, okay, I don't think graphic design is gonna be for me. And then
yeah,
but I've always loved photography. I had been doing self portraits like all during high school and things
yeah.
like
Before
that.
selfie was a thing. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, okay, I think I can actually finish school with photography. But I guess I should also say that I don't have any like real like ballet background and dance or anything. So dance was never really in my mind during that
Okay.
time.
Oh,
So
that clears a lot of things. So, the thing is, you a professional, full-time dancer, or you do side hustles?
it's side, yes. I otherwise have a full-time job, work from home. So
Yeah, and what's the job about, if you want to share?
well, it's creative too. So, but like I said, it's just work from home, just
Yeah,
every
yeah.
day. Just
Everyone is kind of doing the same thing because and actually I feel like work from home uh, is more of a hassle than an advantage, because when you work at the office they get you for 9 to 5, but when you work from home they actually expect you to be present like 24 hours. So yeah, although it's a little comforting, but actually it's not. It's more stressful than ever, right?
yes, yes, because all I want to do is just like work on other things around the house and
Yeah,
just yeah.
yeah. So,
So
uh, when you actually, by the way, I'm a huge Rachel Brace fan, and yeah, actually, I actually took this dance form seriously when I saw Rachel Brace. Before that, it was in my country it's considered to be an exotic dance form, if you know what I mean.
mhm.
So yeah, I thought of it like that way, but it was back in the day, Kelly and Regis show. There was a YouTube video of it. From there was this organization back in the day, Berliner Superstars. So they came into the Kelly and Regis show. So Ansuya, Amar Gamal, and Rachel Brace. Only three of them were there. So yeah, after seeing that, I actually understood the way she moved. It must be difficult, so cannot just deny the fact, right? So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and so as a dancer, you do it on the side. That's wonderful, but what would you say your main struggles are? To
Yeah, I would say like rejection and as well as like comparison. Rejection of
okay.
my art because I submit a lot of my stuff to a lot of different things and I don't necessarily put it up online. Um, and yeah, I would say rejection and then comparison because I get a lot of my inspiration from other dancers, but sometimes that can really go down an envious path for me.
Yeah.
So I try my best to limit my social media because it's like it's almost like you go down the rabbit hole and then it
Yeah.
just kind of like yeah. So I would definitely say I would say those two. So
Yeah, I feel you. And the main thing about social media is, social media is very loud, and the weird thing about is, according to your mental stage or mental stress of that particular moment when you're actually on social media, you actually hear the noise from the side that you actually thinking about. So if you're very feeling down, you actually see depressing things, and you're really happy, you actually see only wonderful things. So yeah, and social media is a double-edged sword, as I always say, because um,
definitely.
how do you get how do you get amazing personal brand if it was not for social media? Because back in the day, you to become a TV personality, you have to do so much things, and there was the syndicate and nepotism, and those are still there. But we actually can create your own identity with a free medium if you know how it works and if you are good at your craft. So yeah, that's one thing, but again, it's quite depressing from time to time. And
Yeah.
to be
It's
quite
like
honest, yeah,
there's this quote that someone had said that social media is like a party where everybody's talking at each other at the same
yeah,
time and
yeah,
no one's really listening
listening,
like to the other
yeah,
person's just all coming at you and I was like
yeah,
and that's why I also try to keep my page very positive energy
yeah,
because I always feel like whatever you put out is what you're going to get back. So
yeah,
I
that's
just,
for sure.
yes.
Because you attract a certain type of people, and yeah, the algorithms of the social media actually picks up the kind of posts that you do, so they actually
Mm,
make a set and compare the interest and push it to people who that are interested in that stuff. So yeah, when you post weird stuff, you actually attract weird people, and if you yeah, that's true. And I actually have 5 accounts just for that reason, just to test out those things. And I actually found out there was an account. Right now we cannot find those weird posts, but there was. I was posting weird things about dancing. So what happened is that it grew, boomed like a rocket, and plummeted like a I don't know, mammoth or something. So yeah, because they tend to move on. Weird people tend to move on. Yeah, the next thing. And I actually got into a huge argument with a dancer, Ellen. She actually was saying, she actually was commenting on every post in a sense that, yes, some posts, maybe they're clothes are revealing, but the dance form is good. So she used to say, I don't like this, but I like this. So I actually was talking to her, and when although I was speaking the same language as her, but when you're tired, sometimes you try to tend not to type a lot of things, you sum it up, and what happened is that later, when I read it, I actually felt that the language I used was really, really passive aggressive. So he really went in a bad way. But The good thing is she actually came to the live, and we actually had a
Oh
real
my
spirited conversation. Yeah, yeah, weird things happen, and also good things. So yeah, and I actually found out that yeah, if you post uh, the quote unquote sexual contents, the thing is yeah, your pages grow, and uh, if you stop posting it, if you start to be original, you start to show your personality, it plummets, also like a rocket. So it goes like a rocket, it comes down like a rocket. It's a huge disaster. And the thing is, but if you post something that is classy and that is tasteful, it actually lasts longer, and you don't have to work that hard to become authentic, original. Yeah, that's
Oh,
something
and
that
I
I actually
love
learned.
what there was this quote that was like, uh to start an argument online, just state your opinion on anything,
Yeah,
or like something like that. It was like, to how to start an argument online, just say anything. Like, oh
yeah.
my God.
Say anything, but pick your spot, because if you are in a if you're in a Facebook group of Democrats, if you say I hate Donald Trump, they're gonna love it. But you have to pick your place. You have to find where there's conservatives, there are progressives, and yeah, you have to start there. So yeah, that's quite true. Just stating your opinion is more than enough to fuel an argument. That's for sure. So yeah, social media is something like it. So okay, what would you say? The inspiring moments of your life. I mean, what actually inspires you?
Oh my God. So many things inspire me. But I would say definitely music. I'll just list them and then go into them. But like
Yeah, yeah,
music, photography, other belly dancers, just belly dance itself. And also my brother. My brother was, he's also a creative, and he did graphic novel. He wrote for graphic novels, and yeah, he was just like always like, he, even though he had a full-time job, he would like work on his graphic novels and his writing until like 3 in the morning, and unfortunately he's passed away now. But like I said, like his drive on it and his like just artistic mind like just still inspires me today.
yeah.
So
That's really inspiring. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And then as far as music goes, I mean, it's just, I think, I know I do a lot of these quotes, but it's just something, I don't
no,
know, they
no,
connect with me.
yeah,
So, but there's a quote where it says like, art is how we decorate space, and music is how we decorate time. And
yeah,
I just, ugh, it's yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
That's
get it.
so,
Yeah, it's a word comes into mind from Urban Dictionary. It's kind of redonkulous. No, it's something like it. Yeah, and yeah, and I actually am sorry about your brother, and I
oh, it's
actually admire his hustle, work ethics, and the hustle he used to do. So I actually follow right now. I actually follow Gary V. When I actually move on to people, when I'm actually trying to learn from people. So right now I'm in a Gary V mode. So he actually says that if you want to build your own brand, if you want to work on your art, you need to eat shit for a while and work 16 hours a day. That's
yes.
something I actually admire about your brother. So yeah, I'm trying to do the same, but I'm stammering, if you can see, because I have done like 7 podcasts and today, and got canceled. Two of them were canceled for some reason, and yeah, it's been a long day for me.
Oh my
So
God. Yeah, no kidding.
yeah, and the worst thing is that no one wants to see Asian guys, brown Asian guys' face in this account. So whenever I do more than 2 podcasts a day, I actually lose followers. To be quite honest, like I lost like 50 followers yesterday. So yeah, what can you do? But
I would
I
like
know.
to I would like to hear more about your inspiration behind all of these like interviews. Like it's just I've actually been watching quite a bit of them too.
Oh,
So
oh,
it's
thank
just
you.
yeah.
The thing is, there are a few reasons, because this is the only thing in this page I can get benefited from, in a sense that, human connection is very important to me because, you know, if you had $1 billion, I don't believe that you can take it to the grave, right? So, yeah, these experiences and connecting in person is very important to me. Secondly, is that I actually created this page as an experiment, to be quite honest, and yeah, and Rachel Brace was an inspiration in a sense that whenever I thought that what can I what's the niche I can pick to experiment on, and actually she came into my mind, and I said, why not? So and yeah, and right now I cannot be benefited from the followers because I'm this is the furthest thing from me. Like I do a bit of writing sometimes. I am going to make movies, if it doesn't matter if it's animated or yeah not. And I actually do photography. So all these things are furthest from dancing and singing and something like it. So yeah, so I'm trying to put some value and to try to learn a few things, and by learning, maybe the guests can teach a few things to the followers. So yeah, those are kind of the motivations. And on a other personal note, I actually looking for was people's origin stories. So what actually motivated them to become an artist, to be quite honest. And I think I'm not sure how long or how the frequent. I mean, this frequency is not ideal, even for not for the page, not for me either.
I
So
was gonna
yeah,
say that's a lot.
that's a lot. I actually am a kind of an overkiller. So if I start something, I tend to go overboard and then find the balance. Not the other way around. Like start slow, I jump big and then slow down a little. So the thing is, yeah. Another thing is right now. I'll continue the podcast for the rest of my life, and uh, fine tune the frequency, and I'm going to interview the artists in general because I find is I in my mind art is something that uh, is common among all the artists, of course. And the
Sure.
thing is, actually, as an artist and or an inspiring artist, it's the motivations, the struggles, the how to overcome them, and how actually get inspired, how to avoid procrastinations. These are the things that actually are common among everywhere. And when I speak to people here, I can actually relate how it actually affects also my art. So sometimes I get good advices too. So yeah, these are the actually many reasons that I actually started. And yeah, I'm going to continue, but I actually fine tune the frequency because
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
later on I'm gonna also start interviewing photographers in my photography pages.
Oh, that'd be
So yeah, I have to fine tune in some way. So yeah, coming back to you, what would you say? Uh, you know, can you share a very good memory or very inspiring story from your, dance career? Although it's short, but I think you have seen some things. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, from a couple of days ago, or not a couple of days, a couple of weeks ago, I
Okay.
just did a photo shoot with Lindsay. Oh, I'm gonna
Oh,
butcher
Lindsay
her
Adler?
last. Sorry?
Lindsay Adler? Is she Lindsay Adler?
No, Lindsay,
Okay, sorry.
I'm gonna butcher it, but I'm just gonna spell her last name, so it's Oien. I don't know how to pronounce it, but
Oh,
anyway. So we went to northern Minnesota. It was about a 4 hour drive for me. So that was like well, 8 hours to and from. But anyway, so I kind of always have a song in my head when I don't like saying modeling, but I guess in this case I was. But when
yeah.
I'm modeling,
Yes, like song of the day that you leave for a day. Yeah, I do have those. Yeah,
it's like I almost call it like an avatar for myself. So it's the same song, and so I for the first part of the um, like photo shoot, I just felt like, I was doing my modeling thing, and then there was this moment where I was on the sand, and I just told myself to dance, like just let everything go. You don't have to like do your modeling thing, just dance. And I almost like performed for her in that moment, and so she was snapping. It's like about 5 minutes or so, and then she like took her camera down, and she's like, "Did you feel that?" I was like, I think so, because I just was like in the zone. And even though she said, even though all I can see is of course the camera, like she's like, I felt like you were actually looking at me and like into my soul. And I'm like, so that was really cool, because I wasn't really expecting to actually do a performance. And not only that, but I also have to think about when I perform, like I'll have my nervous 1 minute, like about a minute into the song, and then I tell myself, okay, just actually listen to the song now. And then I'll just relax, and then like just more
yeah,
of my meanness comes out, I guess you could
yeah. No,
say.
no, no. That absolutely makes sense, and every part of the story. Because to break it down, the little bit sense that I know. First of all, when you go to a state, it's called I think it's called flow state, according to the modern science. I would say pop culture science that I say, because it's not yet defined by neurologists or psychologists, but it's been well deconstructed by psychiatrists, I think. So the thing is, it's like in a state that you actually lose yourself to the task that you're doing. It can be a performance, it can be high jump, it can be surfing incident, or even doctors has reported that there was this surgery that a guy, a doctor was doing. He was in the zone. So what happened after the surgery? He actually saw, a huge beam fell off. He actually saw a huge beam behind his, behind him, and he actually asked his assistants what happened. So he was saying that there was a huge earthquake, and the roof fell off,
Oh
and
my God.
you didn't even notice that. So yeah, this is called the flow
Wow.
stage. And as a performer, as an artist, or as a human being who actually does anything for living, to be quite honest, that's the peak state that you can get. And the more of those states you get, is the better as a performer you get at anything. And secondly is that when you said about music and actually puts you in the state, that's another thing that everyone, like you see basketball, like they actually bounce the ball a couple of times before shooting to the hoop, but there's no rule for it, but it actually puts them to a state, and everyone has those kind of thing. Every player, like if you watch football, Cristiano Ronaldo stands in a very awkward way before taking a kick. And I always thought that there must be a reason behind it, like a tactical reason. Actually, you can shoot in a certain direction. When actually there is this a documentary about him testing his limits as a human being. So he has kind of a few superhuman qualities, like if you kick a ball and turn the lights off, he can actually head the ball or kick the ball
Who is
blind.
this?
Yeah, he's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's one of the best players of football. Yeah, CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo, whatever. But the thing is, he's not the only one. The top players can do that, and people who has been doing one thing for like 10 years, 20 years full time, and they're actually trying to. Yeah, Ronaldo. Someone actually wrote his name, so they actually tend to develop superhuman strength. There is this samurai guy who actually can cut bullet with his sword. There's a video. Yeah, there's a video of it. You must watch it. So the thing is,
I'm gonna have to.
before any kind of performance, they actually do a certain thing, like bouncing the ball or standing in a certain way. And so the thing is, this is a signal to try to call the state, to be quite honest, the flow or the zone, whatever you call it. And start building your concentration. And when you are at your best, the thing is, emotion is contagious. And so if you feel awkward doing something awkward, or if you own that awkwardness and feel confident doing there was this video of Tom Holland dancing on a girly song wearing a showgirl's costume, but he actually owns it, and it's a very entertaining performance. Tom Holland, like from Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man guy. So if you own it, you act. Yeah, so I was saying that if you can own anything and if you feel confident at anything, the emotion is contagious. So when you're at that state, people who are watching you actually feel it and feel the vibe. And spiritual people call it energy, where scientists call it simple emotion is contagious. So the whole thing.
What I would love to see is, I'm wondering if that actually translates into the camera. That's what I want to understand, because
that actually does.
You
does.
think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so, because it's not about. This is where actually science digresses from spiritual people, because spiritual people say it's energy flowing. So if it's energy, there's have to be human connection or contact. But when science says that it's our subconscious knowledge of people's reactions, people's postures, people's body language, people's expressions. So in that sense, if you see something that awesome, perfectly, of course, you cannot just see a blurry image and feel something about it. So perfectly. So that does translate. And depending on the people, if it's a photographer, the one thing interesting about photography is, I think you know it, but because if camera actually looks on both sides, so if you're feeling something good vibe in front of it, but there's a problem with the photographer, it's definitely going to show up in their work. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. Because I was also I don't like saying this, but I
Yeah.
was a model, like a
Yeah.
commercial model agencies back in the day. And so yeah, I've noticed that when a photographer doesn't really like my look,
Yeah.
I see it in the photographs. Like,
Yeah.
so, but
Yeah, this is where the experience comes in, because as a photographer you actually are as a portrait photographer. I mean, when I say portrait, I mean, the casual portraits, the family and the seniors, and the whole jam charade of just photographing people. So I actually found out in a hard way. We actually uh, uh, less paid, or maybe sometimes highly paid shrinks. So what happens is that the first thing is understand the subject, and connect with them, and then do your thing. Because if you don't like something about a certain thing, it's definitely going to show up at your work, but you have to find ways to like the situation. And
yes.
in that sense, you can actually develop a rapport, and uh, concentrate your training, like the composition, the lighting and stuff like that, in a certain way, to bring out the best and hide the worst. That's what we do, right? Bring out the best and hide or what we don't like. Unlike artists, like sketch artists or painters, we don't have the liberty to just not paint something. If there is a problem, it's always going to show up. So yeah, that's definitely the thing. Again,
Yeah.
emotion is contagious. So there's something wrong behind the camera. There's something always going to be wrong in front of it and in the camera. So yeah, that's true.
I also feel like there is a patience though that happens when you're live watching a
Yeah.
performer, because it's something that I'm trying to crack and figure out right now is like, how do I keep people's attention online? And, again,
It's very different. It's a very different, it's a
oh
very
my
different psychology.
gosh.
Yeah. And the thing is, yeah, why concert sells more tickets than a live show? It's just because the vibe it gives, because you're connecting with the artist and also with the people who are actually around you. So if you love a song and people are booing, then it's not gonna be enjoyable. But if everyone's loving the song and the vibe it creates, it's amazing. So, but when it comes to online, people can actually enjoy a performance, but it depends on the mentality, right? To be quite honest. So every platform like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, the big five, I think it's called. So the thing is, everyone goes into app in a very different with a very different mindset. So
Mm.
TikTok is all about swiping after every 15 seconds at best, if not every second. Instagram is a little slower, so it's like swiping after 30 seconds. It's a little slower. Facebook is an OG, in my opinion, right now.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's so good for marketing. So yeah, it's gonna make its comeback. It's trying its best, like monetizing YouTube videos right now. It's monetizing videos, and it's an amazing platform to sell. So yeah, but for modern generation, it's an old thing. And for when it comes to Facebook, older people are there. They do what they do, and that's why I kind of left Facebook, because it's getting weird for me. And when it comes to YouTube, there actually people go to watch 10 minutes, 15 minutes video, and they actually browse so many things just to find this one video to watch for a few minutes. So yeah, depends on the platform.
Yeah.
It's have to understand, the whole damn game before you actually, put yourself out there, because but you actually can upload a concert, sorry, performance on YouTube and get views, like you saw Sonia Burns' video and actually appreciate it. But I'm pretty sure if that video is uploaded here, the whole damn thing, people's definitely not going to watch the whole thing, that's for sure. And it starts slow and builds up. So if you don't grab someone's attention in Instagram within like 15 seconds, and then it's gone,
Yes.
the post.
Yes.
It-
And that's what I miss, like back in 2010 when I was just on YouTube finding all
yeah,
these dancers. I miss like just having that like 5 minutes and like actually watching the whole thing
yeah,
through.
yeah,
It's just, and what I'm trying to do with my work is bring a little bit of that back. Like just I'm trying it to make a visual, I mean, it sounds kind of weird, but a visual experience for my viewers and like kind of try my best to recreate that
yeah, yeah.
moment.
Yeah, that's called being authentic. Yeah, and no, I can suggest you, and if I can suggest you something, is that you don't, as I said, the first 15 seconds are important, and being authentic is also important. So, what you can do is record 2 or 3 minutes long video, whatever you feel comfortable, and I'm pretty sure when you're uploading like 5 minutes of video, and uh, you know, as a dancer, you tend to be perfectionist first, and then think about quantity. So you actually will put on a lot of work on that 5 or 6 minute performance or choreography. So I would suggest that upload on IGTV the whole thing, but cut it down into chunks like the 30 seconds or 1 minute 1 minute chunks, and you have to cut something where keeping in mind that the first 15 seconds has to be a little attractive, to be quite honest. So in that way, you actually can attract people to your account, and actually, if they're interested, they can actually watch the whole video of you dancing in IGTV. And people who watches that video on IGTV on Instagram are actually your good best followers, because they're going beyond the comfort zone, watching that video in a platform where they're actually in the mode of just swiping in every 10 or 15 seconds. So yeah, that says a lot. So you actually can make a list of your fan following, actual following. So if you sometimes start selling, I don't know, start selling groceries to people, they're the ones they're gonna buy it. Yeah, it's true. It's shockingly true, because personal branding is a tool that you can actually switch the mode of. So
Mhm.
if you know Julia Andrews, Mary Poppins, if you have seen the movie, yeah, she was known for her sweet voice and her performances, but she actually had a throat cancer, and she has had to retire from acting altogether for a while,
Oh
and
my
she
God.
started writing children's book, and she actually became famous for as a book author, and then she came back to acting. I can see her in the new season of the last season of The Crown as Margaret Thatcher, and actually you can actually hear her voice. It's very rough right now, but used to be very sweet and silky smooth voice. So yeah, this is what a personal branding does, because Julia Andrews is alive, maybe not an actress, but can be an author, and she can, if it was if she were from our generation, like Kim Kardashian, you would have sold more things than usual. So yeah, this is what personal branding does to people. So Yeah, lot of gibberish, I think, about the things, but I think it's important to share those my findings with people, because I find kind of obligated, because what I'm gonna do with it alone, right? So yeah, coming back to your story, what would you say your weirdest experience was while performing?
Um, I really didn't have any like really weird experiences because again, it's more so a lot of my solos have been during COVID, so a lot of it's just online and such. So no real weird stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So no, it's okay, because it's good to know that you have less weird experience than other people.
Less weird.
But you're definitely gonna start having them soon. So yeah, keep a note, and next time when I ask you, share a few. Yeah,
I sure
um,
will.
that's for sure. Do you teach dancing by any chance?
No, I don't teach. I take teaching so seriously. I feel like, even if you're a if you're a good dancer, doesn't necessarily make you a good teacher, and if you're a good teacher, doesn't necessarily mean that you're a good
Vice versa. Yeah,
dancer.
yeah,
So, I feel like if I ever do start teaching, I want to study teaching because
yeah.
because that's probably I believe that's an art form in itself, and it's something I take very seriously, especially with what I do as far as fusion dance. Like I want to be able to give um, my future students
Yeah.
um, like more historical context and just I really want to give them a quality experience, so that's why I'm putting that on hold right now.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. And yeah, as you said, it is. I would really agree with you, because teaching is, I find that like teaching is kind of teachers are kind of doctors of mind, and yeah, you have to, when you're actually teaching something, they're actually damaging their brain in a very good way, and they're rebuilding something in their mind. So yeah, you have to balance that. Well, I have to say that when I say damage, I mean the change that
Yep,
happens. So
yep,
yeah,
yep.
so okay. And yeah, and it's a very big responsibility in my
It
mind. So
is.
yeah, and in my country, the thing is, education is really affordable. So if you're a good student, you don't have to pay a buck sometimes in my country to get to the highest level of education in my country. So, but the problem is that teaching is not that high paying job uh, in this country. I think it's almost all over the world is the same story. So people who doesn't don't get become a high government officer, they become teachers. So everyone's last choice is that. So I have had my my share of experience of bad teachers, bad mentors. So I
Exactly.
do understand, and do appreciate that someone taking their job seriously, because being a victim. Uh,
Yeah.
and do you consider yourself as an introvert, by the way?
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
can tell. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I can tell.
Yes.
So although I think I know the answer, but I always ask people from my league how actually, as a dancer, you actually are performing in front of people sometimes. So how do you actually, combat that? Because you want to be, you're more comfortable with being yourself, being alone with yourself. So, how do you switch modes, or how do you actually perform in front of people?
That's a good question. I'm gonna like kind of think about it a little bit, but um, you know, I think it's just my love for wanting to present music and I guess like again it goes back to the visual experience. It's kind of like I just have this magical idea back in the day when I would watch all these videos of the belly dancers that are just like basically my heroes. And I think about, okay, let's try and bring that to someone else now. And so it's kind of like that's that's my driving force, but it always goes back to music again. Like just sharing music is
Yeah.
what pushes me forward. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, a strong motivation. Yeah, that's for sure. To get out of
Hmm.
your comfort zone and do the things that you love. Yeah, that's kind of story. So you were actually, more of a bubbly personality, to be quite honest. And when you dance, you're really calm and composed and serious. So, do you think you always play a different character from yourself while you're dancing?
People are normally pretty surprised when they meet me. They're
No,
like,
no. The thing is, I have
Lord.
seen the same pattern more than once. So yeah, doing this podcast, I actually learned that. So yeah, that's why I'm asking. I'm not surprised,
Yeah.
but I just want to know the reason.
Yes. Yeah. Again, I think I just draw from other dancers and I just really, but yes, I do have a character that I have in my mind and um but yeah, most of the time people talk to me like normal and I'm like I'm just always laughing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I get it, and because it actually brings a different side of you that's within you, and we are all people who are actually have shades of gray built into us, and not acknowledging the other side is it's unhealthy, to say the least. And uh, even you have to face your darker side, because everyone has them. Everyone. The interesting thing about the deadly sins is that everyone has all of that built into them from birth. So you have to acknowledge those things, and uh, not instead of suppressing them, actually get accustomed to them and manage them in a very healthy and positive way. I feel like that. So yeah, you are you can be a funny little guy, and you have your moments of seriousness. So when I said guy, I also meant me. So yeah,
Oh no,
I'm
that's fine.
yeah, we're all kind of same thing. So I'm a jolly person, but I have my temper from time to time. It comes once a year, but it explodes like an atomic bomb. So
Oh
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. And I have me having a very loud voice doesn't really help that in that moment. So yeah. So yeah, but I right now I know that and acknowledge that, and it doesn't explode in a weird way. It just small explosions rather than a huge atomic bomb. That's more like the healthy way. Yeah. So and yeah, we're almost at the end of the podcast. So I do like 60 minutes, and we're almost at that. And if you're free, we're definitely gonna do more of this, and learn a little bit more about you and the dance, and we can talk about the hypothetical stuffs. And so, yeah, someone
Yes.
actually say, wrote a long message. It is
Oh,
important to know that when you teach your focus to really understand what you're demonstrating, you can and grow and a lot teaching. Whatever he or she actually said, that you actually can demonstrate the your process and actually help people achieving the flow state, which is the highest form of a human being. And you were actually uh, when they say slowing down time, these are the things happen at that state. You actually can
yes.
see things clearly, and the brain gets in a hyperactive mode. So, and for those of you who actually are wondering, without practice and without hard work and without feeling like you're gonna die, if one more day you do this practice or do this thing, without that you cannot actually achieve the flow by choice. But if you have love for something and doing for years now, like you actually, when I said about the music, when you said about the music, it's like years of feeling and intuition, and it's sometimes it clicks like that. So yeah,
Yes.
it happens like that. And I have a friend who actually was a gamer back in the day, when you actually have to connect the computers through a cable in order to do a multiplayer game from that era. And he used to say that there's when he was in a huge high stake match, actually he saw time slowing down, and he was in a zone, and he actually can feel the other player moving through a map in a screen, and not even seeing their position. And they actually once it happened, actually start shooting, and the player came in and got a headshot. You know what I
Oh,
mean? So he
jeez.
wasn't even in the map, and he shot it. He just entered and was dead. So yeah, these kind of things happen because he actually could, for some reason, felt that the someone on the other side was telling that to come from a certain angle. So yeah, these things can happen. So when you're at the flow state, and you can actually teach them. That's what I think he was trying to say. So yeah, before we go, I definitely have to do this again. So I have a
Yes.
roster of questions. I always ask people, and when I have a good conversation, we share ideas. We tend to digress, and barely ask any of them. So I asked like three or four maybe. And so yeah, no. So before we go, do you have like anything to say to the people, and any ending remarks that you want to share? Yeah.
Just knowing that I appreciate every single like, every comment that comes my way. Like, I
Yeah, everyone.
never, ever, ever, ever take anyone for granted because there's somebody else on the other side. They're living their life. There's somebody to someone, and it's just like I never take that stuff for granted. So yeah, all the support, and you of course having me on here too. It's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. And this is a new experience for me. Taking every comment, seriously, even on those weird comments, when actually that the person, if could send you a picture, he's gonna send you some picture that you would never want to watch. There are those moments in the comments I felt like this guy was actually trying to do so many things, but he was actually limited by the text. Now I had this experience because weird people are really weird, and uh, because they're weird, they're actually no, not the other, not because they have less IQ. That's why I think sometimes they're weird. So what happens that yeah, I feature many dancers, but for some reason, uh, few guys think all of these diverse array of people are one person, and and I am that person, and send so many things like I wouldn't start to discuss the photos and videos that I get. But I have to say that I have got marriage proposals. I have got job opportunities as a dancer. I have got. mm, uh,
You're
yeah,
like,
sometimes I get
what?
branding deals, but they get really upset when they see I'm a guy, so they
Oh,
expect something else. And of course, I think I have mentioned marriage proposals because yeah. So and I feel like some of those people, just because lack of sharing pictures or videos in a comment on Instagram, they try to put their effort on emojis and and try to send as much as they can on the comments. So I was asking that even though you take those comments seriously and care about those people, that says a lot about you, because I couldn't.
right,
So
right. It
yeah,
says,
as you care about human more than me, to be quite honest. And and also I have a dancer friend, who I did podcast with, and we frequently chat. So Soraya, she said that whenever someone sends them a message that is not an offensive one, but definitely a weird one, like
weird one.
trying to marry them or asking them how they're doing, and the small chats, trying to build a small chat, but where it's gonna go. So
Oh
he
no.
actually sometimes replies to them, because she actually sometimes replies to them, because she actually thinks that person actually kind of a fan, and he most cases they're so he took
Sure.
time to write this message, so I feel obligated to reply them, because at the end of the day they're also human and actually investing time on me. So when it starts to get weird, I just stop talking to them and draw a boundary.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is what girls
Exactly.
can do, because girls become mothers. So this is the only logical reasoning that I can find. But when it comes to guys, when they say hi to another guy, we're like, "What's your problem, dude?"
Oh, jeez. And that's what I do. I just meet people where they are. Like if they're acting crazy to me, then that's what's gonna end up. I'm gonna do that back.
Yeah,
So it's just,
yeah,
yeah, whatever you bring to me is what I'll bring back to you. So just, yeah.
yeah. Thank you. I understand. So I was saying thank yous to our bro Nick, who actually was commenting, and yes, he's saying that, bro, you hurt my feelings. Yeah, dude, I am hurting my feelings right now too, because being a guy, I seeing my type what they're doing on internet, because to the girls, and yeah, I'm sorry sometimes, and I used to think that girls always overplay those things, like they're actually making a big fuss out of it. But I think right now, after seeing those things, I think they're not making big enough fuss for those things. And yeah, so many kids are around, but they're like 1% of the population, but they make so much noise. We can
Oh, jeez.
yeah, we become the victim of the circumstances sometimes. Yeah. So yeah, again, thank you
Of
uh,
course.
so much for coming. And this is the end of today. I'm We're gonna start again tomorrow with another podcast. This is the highest amount of podcast that I did, and hopefully I will ever do, unless of course there's a special circumstance. So thank you so
Yeah.
much,
Yeah,
and
thank you. Get
and
some
it was,
rest.
yeah, yeah, that's for sure. And we're definitely gonna have a conversation from fellow photography academic, I think, and fellow introvert. We're definitely gonna have another good conversation someday. So and our bro Nick, thank you brother, I think, because you were hurt like me. Thank you, brother, for joining and and commenting something that I can read in front of people, and also something that is not offensive. And when I do the podcast, I see weird comments and block them instantly. And yeah, so yeah, thank you for being such a good sport, and thank you for coming live. And you are the first, first fusion dancer in this channel, and you're gonna definitely have a nice conversation again. So yeah,
Yes,
take
definitely.
care, take
All
care,
right.
and have a nice day. Bye bye.
Yes. Bye.